Hey, Super Street, let's make it official. Attention in the pits. Super Street, come on down. Well, gang, it's 9 o'clock and the track's ready and we're ready and we just need a few more Super Streeters in the lane. Super Street, come on down. Let's go ahead and get this thing fired off. Super Street, you're out first. Super Comp, you're out second. Super Gas, you're out third. Then it's going to be round number 1 for the alcohol cars. Density altitude right now 986 feet below sea level. Yahtzee. Can we turn off the AFIS and bring Superstack up, please? Asking for a friend. Bruce Curtin, Kelsey Alexander going to kick us off here. It's the final time run. Practice run for Super Street cars and trucks. Next time we see him, they'll be racing for real. Bruce had that one last red light he had to get out of his system. And, okay, mission accomplished. 1089, 149 miles an hour for Bruce. Man, he made like an almost perfect weather call this morning. 1098 at $129. For Kelsey. Now it's Bob Fuller out of Arkansas. And Ed Swearingen out of Georgia. Bob in the truck. Ed in the Camaro. I was going to say, let's see how long we can keep going with the truck and one lane and car in the other lane, but we're going to break that string here next. I'm going to start a pool on what you think Rob was looking at when the tree came down, because it most clearly wasn't the tree. Put in $10, take your best guess. We'll ask him, and winner gets the pot. Ed Swearingen goes 1089 at 118 miles an hour. Bob Fuller goes 1084 at 130. His reaction time started with a 3. You don't see that out of anybody named Fuller very often. Bruce Burnson now, 70 Mustang with a 438. And Stephen King, that's like a Corvette Roadster with a roof. Well, it's got no window. Every time it drives by my window, I look at it and go, "Ooh?" But then I do like guys with imagination. Or maybe he just ran out of budget. We're building a car. We got money for everything but the windows. Who needs windows? Good point. Who needs windows? 1053 at 129 miles an hour for King. He's going to have to crank the bolts under the wheel a whole lot more turns. 1089, 139 for Bruce Burnson. So we had 3 pairs of cars, and we've had a 1089 in each pair, right? Huh. See if we can keep that going. Wayne Dulesky and the Cutlass. Big old Oldsmobile, and Rod Rudrick. In the 1980s, is that really a Plymouth Sundance? Man, I haven't seen one of those in like 100 years. A shuttle truck driver. Okay. If it was me, I'd call it a shuttlecraft. You know, people think that I'm on Star Trek or something. Like a shuttlecraft down to the planet surface. 1082, 103 miles an hour for Dwayne. We broke our 1089 streak. 1080 at 125 miles an hour for Rodney. Hey, Super Street. Attention in the pits. Super Street, final call. If you're not here, you ought to be on the way. Super Street, final call. Super Comp, come on down. We need you to the staging lanes, please. Super Comp, final time run. Eliminations come later. We need you to the lanes. See a bunch of super speeders just pulling into the lanes. Did you guys miss the memo? We started at 9. Which means you're supposed to be in your car in the lanes at 9. Not driving in at a quarter after going, oh, you mean today? We're going to run today? 1073, 139 for Jason Bader. And the Chevelle. And now we got Marty Heinite in the Mustang. On a solo. $1089, 127 miles an hour for Marty. That's not bad. 052 on the tree, that's not great. And it's Victor Adams and Ed Pauley. Reading left to right. 383 stroker in the left side. The 406 for Pauley in the right side. A couple of small block cars getting after it. Pauley jumps early by 0.003 of a second. Super Comp, come on down. Down to the stripe, 1081, 124. Left lane, 1083 in the right. And that'll bring up Steve Town in his for-sale Dodge. And Lauren Edwards in the Vega. Looks like a lot of smoke down there at Lauren's car. 1101, 133 miles an hour and a lot of smoke. If I'm not mistaken, that thing's done that a time or two, hasn't it? Or am I making this up? I could sing if you want me to. Steve Town goes 1086 at 130. Well, I saw Book of Mormon last week again. Have you ever seen Book of Mormon? You're making things up again, Arnold. That's one of the songs, really. Google it. Don't Google the rest of the songs, just Google that one. I believe we're going to send somebody down there to take a look real quick because the red lights are on. Super Comp, come on down. We need you to the lanes, please. Super Comp to the lanes.
Mosier Engineering has been racing across 4 decades with 3 generations, and we are proud to be an official NHRA sponsor here today. Everything we make, from our rear ends, axles, suspension, and even our brakes, are made with one goal in mind: so you can finish first. We offer standard 2-day turnaround on custom axles, housings, and center sections. Visit us on the web at mosierengineering.com or call and talk to our knowledgeable and friendly technicians. Remember, whether you are a weekend enthusiast or a serious racer, Mosier Engineering has the highest quality made in the USA products for all of your extreme street and racing applications. Finish first with Mosier Engineering.
Well, after a check at the top end of the racetrack, we're back at it. Cue ball laddie. Drops the red. Let's see. The red ball would be the 3 ball, right? Right? 1124, 127 the speed. 1084, 124 for Dan Dobson. By the way, listen up. The Baby Gator t-shirts are here. Get them while they're hot. And they're where? The main gate souvenir trailer stand thing over there somewhere, I think. I don't know. I know they're here. You can find them. You do not want to miss out on your 2020 Baby Gator shirt. Charles Aldrich in a Camaro on the left lane. Alexis Whitaker in the Nova in the right lane. Alexis is a college student at 18. Wow, at 18 I was still struggling my way through 4th grade. 1085, 136 miles an hour. Aldrich goes 1091 at 137. No, I'll never forget. I was talking to a high school counselor one time. He said, "What are you going to be when you graduate?" I said, I don't know, 35, 40. Randy Whitener. Wow, that thing's nice. 68 Corvette. I love the chrome bumper Corvettes. And Scott Mackey. Team Babalu and the team Chevy 2. .004 on the wrong side of the tree for Randy, 008 on the right side of the tree for Mackey. I think we're going to see a pretty big disparity in speed down there as well, looking at the way they're playing the game. 1091, 133 miles an hour for Randy, 1095 at 152 for Mackey. What's that you say? You like red Corvettes? Me too. No hashtag. Here's Randy Ship in his Corvette. And I think this is fairly new to the ship fleet, the fleet of ships. Get it? Ship fleet. Mark Smith on the right side, out of Bowling Green. You really have a 632 inch Chevy in that thing? I object, especially that red light. 5th was runner-up in Division 3 last year. That's a pretty tough place to make a living in a super gas car. Had himself a heck of a year. 1088, 155 for the attorney. 1099 at 148 for the shipmaster. The captain. The ship captain. There you go. Well, if we can have a corn dog king, we can have a ship captain, don't you think? That's what I'm thinking. Mike Griggs in a Camaro. Kenny Dickerson in the Chiva. And they're off. Ba-da-dum, 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 bum-bum. Next time we see him, it'll be an elimination. 1085, 142 miles an hour for Dickerson. Mike Griggs goes 1088. Also at 142 miles an hour. And that'll bring up Brian Funderburk out of Tallahassee, Alabama. And Dave Helrigal. And then 64 Chevelle. The Big Square Chevrolet out of High Springs, Florida for the technician. The red light for Brian Funderburk. .1087 Funderburk, 138 miles an hour. 1093 at 135 for Dave. Got Fiffield in the left side, Alan Cremo. I mean, you're allowed, I guess, to have an opinion and not like the Gremlin, but if that's your opinion, then, well, you're wrong. It's cool. It's even got an AMC motor in it. 1089, 132 miles an hour with a 008 light for the Gremlin. 1088, 130 miles an hour for Scott in the Ventura. That's also a not exactly mainstream car. I mean, it's not a Gremlin, but watch Dave Clark's truck. This is a small block C10 that leaves with the wheels up. I got to get me one of them. I think he's got a couple of bags of ready mix in the back of it. That helps with the wheel stand. Well, I mean, after all, it is a pickup. Rudy Matthews over on the right side in that 69 Camaro. Man, that thing's gone on a racetrack a few times, huh? 10,900 for Matthews. Hey, Rudy, nobody likes to show off. Okay, I lied. I like a show off. 1104, 117 miles an hour for David Clark. Remember Smokey and the Bandit? He's talking to Frog and he says, I just go from place to place and do what I do best. She said, what's that? And he said, show off. Jesse McKnight, TJ Coleman. In the right here and the right now. You guys will be thinking about Smokey and the Bandit all day today. When you're 25 years old and you're going, Mommy, what's Smokey and the Bandit? Well, just go on YouTube and watch it. You'll be glad you did. 1087, 139 miles an hour. 1088, 130 miles an hour for Jesse McKnight. Remember Sheriff Buford? What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law. Put the evidence in the car, boy. Franklin DeBartolomeo in yet another truck. And Lamar Stevenson in yet another Camaro. We're having yet another matchup here. Lamar misses the green light by 3,000. Franklin hits it pretty solid at 014. .1086, 126 miles an hour for Stevenson. Franklin goes 1107 at 120. Maybe we'll do that for the rest of the day. Favorite Smokey and the Bandit quotes. Robbie Welsh in the Fairlane. Ryan Barnes in the Old Achieva. How about, now that's not good. Yeah, it would be better with a whole bridge. And that's worse. 1083, 136, Robbie Walsh. 1084, 139, Ryan Barnes after Robbie goes green and Ryan goes red. Charlie Owen seems to be having a little problem doing a burnout, but I think he's going to be okay. The Ventura. Do you remember what I said about the Ventura a minute ago, that it's not quite as unique as the Gremlin, because there's only one Gremlin. It's like a Tigger. We could all sing the Tigger song if you want to. Oh, don't pretend you don't know the Tigger song. You know the Tigger song. $10.908 for Les Harris. Way to go, Les. I mean, he's no Rudy Matthews, but that's okay. Charlie Owens goes 11:39 at 101 miles per. I think he's trying to lull everybody into a false sense of security. It's working. It's working. Now it's Landon Neely. The 66 Nova wagon. That thing is listing to port pretty well. And Dave Policina. Dave's out of A&H Automotive. A&H, of course, it stands for Dave Policina, I think. Both drivers hit the tree at 00. That's pretty good. Who's closer to the 1090? Ooh, that's pretty good on both sides. Neely misses by a thou on the bottom side. Policius goes to 1091. 006, 1091. That will win you some rounds. Maybe not all of the rounds, but it will win you some rounds. Tony Johnson now. For Will's starter and alternator in Palmetto, Florida. That Monte Carlo's got a license plate on it. And Kevin McNichol. Kevin is top in Northport, Florida. 001 reaction time for both. 001 red for Kevin. The officer ran a red light. 1089, 134 miles an hour. Tony goes 1086, 140 miles an hour. Vic Singer, left side. The Monza and Trent Thomas in the Nova. I really like the Nova in stock that does wheel stands. I get a lot. A considerable amount. More than just some. Trip Zip Perfect, Vic Singer. And then 1070. You need to get together with Rudy Matthews. You guys will be unbeatable. You let go of the button, let him dial the car. You guys will be fine. Trent Thomas goes 1082 after being 009 on the reaction timer. And we've got more. Laurel Morris and Chip Rollins. All right, listen up in the pits. Attention in the pits. Super Comp. This is your final call. If you want to make this time run, you need to be in lane. Super Comp, final call. That wagon looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? Looks like he's got a bag of ready mix in the back corner. That's like I got yelled at by John Calvert. 10901 after a 005. Chip Rollins, you're the man. A 6-pack. First thing in the morning. Save that for later. 005 dead one for Chip Rollins. Laurel Morris goes 1096 at 138. Wow, talk about listing to port. That's the Cutlass. And put him together with the wagon, who listed strongly to starboard when he hit the gas. Wayne Kelly and Jake Rutledge. .1094, 152 miles an hour for Wayne Kelly. Jake Rutledge goes 1086, 134. Talk about cars that are listing to port. Look at Ricky Miller's car. If you put a marble in the middle of the roof, it'd be going like 40 miles an hour when it hit the wall. That thing is leaning hard. John Rollins. Out of High Springs, Florida. Former division champ. All right, John, let's see what you can do. Chip had a 6-pack. You think you can get inside that? Ooh, maybe. 002 light. I mean, your car didn't twist around and pick up one wheel like one of those old 455 powered Pontiacs. 1086 for John, 138. Chip laughs at that. Laughs, I tell you. 1118, 117 for Ricky Miller. And I think this might just be final car in category. If it is, then I'll tell you the story about John Calvert yelling at me. You gonna throw me out? Oh, wow, that didn't last long. Colby Fuller, a college student from Savannah, Georgia. What college is in Savannah, Georgia? What? Georgia Southern? Go Eagles. 20 years old, he's sponsored by Joe's Package Shop. That's a salesman. 1068, 147.47 miles an hour. And there you have it. All right, here's my John Calvert story. I have a 67 Mustang. It has a pretty stout small block and a 4-speed. For those of you who don't know John Calvert, he has a 68 Mustang. It's got a 428 Cobra Jet and a 4-speed. He won a world championship with it. He also makes suspension components and that kind of stuff, and he's really good at making small tires bite. So I was talking to him, and I said, hey, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. You know, give me some advice. And he said, have you put the battery in the trunk yet? I said, yep. He said, where? I said, in the trunk. He said, I know in the trunk, you idiot. Where? I said, well, it's on the right side, back on there's a little kind of a shelf in the back in the trunk of a Mustang. And he said, is it touching the taillight? And I said, no. And he said, why not, you moron? And I said, well, why should it be touching the taillight? He goes, if you're going to move weight back, why wouldn't you move it as far back as you can? Why'd you move it part way back? And I went, well, I don't know. I just kind of put it in the middle there where it fit. And he basically told me I was an idiot. So I went and moved my battery, and now it touches the taillight. I feel so much better now. And the car runs pretty good, too, as a matter of fact. I mean, not like his, but it runs pretty good. So that's my story of how I got yelled at by John Calvert. We have lanes full of super compers. They're going to be next. Super gas, warm up. We're going to be calling you shortly. And then it's going to be round number 1 of alcohol qualifying. I'm going to go back to answering my emails from yesterday. I got so rudely interrupted when we started racing. Part of that was because they forgot about me at Burger King this morning. I'm having like no Burger King luck this week. My normal Burger King is torn down. The one that's on the way to the racetrack is a vacant lot with a sign that says remodeling. Apparently they're starting from the dirt. So I went to another one today that has a 2-lane drive-through, and I went in one lane and they forgot all about me. Are they giving away french fries over there?
Too many deep conversations over here on the race control side.
The Baby Gator shirts are here. Have you heard?
I did hear that.
How about that? It's only the 3rd day of the event, and already we got shirts. Way to plan rich.
It's better than picking them up on the way out the front gate.
That's true. That's true. They're really cool, though. The 2020 Baby Gator shirts. You don't want to miss one and then have 2020 hindsight that should have had one.
Oh.
We got Super Comp rolled around a corner, and we got Warren Evans stepping up to the microphone. Final practice run. Better get it right.
And right out of the box, you throw me a name that I will butcher. Jean-Pierre. I got that part right. Everybody knows Jean-Pierre? Okay. Gobiel. I got all the letters in there. I hope that's right. Out of Quebec City. The Canadian. 27 Ford Roadster over here on the left. Chuck Trotter on the right. The Door Slammer. Not a whole lot of door cars in the 890 category, but here's one of them for you. All Ford all the time. And Super Comp, if you're not in the lanes, you should be. I see a whole string of them nose to tail over there in the staging lanes, but got room for some more if you're not up here already. Come on and get in there. There you go. And a little Roadster over here on the left. Hustles down track. Thunderbird catches him at the finish line, 888 at 178. Jean-Pierre with an 879, 147 miles an hour. 2 pairs, 2 door slammers. Lance Pinto, left side, Walworth, New York. The Lance Automotive Cavalier. No information in the computer just yet for the car over here on the right side. But the very distinctive rear engine dragster with big block Chevy stands out in the crowd of rear engine dragsters with big block Chevy. Lance leaves first by about an hour and a half. 889 at 152 for Lance Pinto. Right side, dragster lets go of the button late. 922 at 166. Bob Fuller comes up next. He of Hot Rod Fuller fame. Hot Rod's dad, Bob Fuller, over here on the left for Odyssey Batteries. Multiple times picking up the Wally all around the country alongside Joe Balancio, the American Youth Motorsports dragster, over on the right. Well, Balancio had his coffee this morning. He was ready. 008 on the tree. 9 flat at 169 for Joe Balancio. Fuller, 892 at 182. Now it's David Nickel backing up. The machinist from North Carolina left side. Right side, Jonathan Anderson. Career best number 3 in the world last year for HJ Wings and Things. Anderson out of Williamson, Georgia. And another name goes on the list for the Wilkins Wheels and Wrenches Trip Zip Challenge as Jonathan Anderson goes 000 at the starting line, 891 at the finish, 177. For David Nickel, 899, speed of 153. Michael Handress comes up next alongside John LeBouse. Handress, the Short Line Express Market. Yes, I know who the somebody will be that eats those. That'd be me. John LeBouse, right side. I hear people call him the loose caboose, but I think that was his dad. Johnny was the loose caboose. Handress 002 on the let go. And to the finish line he goes, 892 at 176. LeBouse drops it on the number, 890 with a 4 at 179. Jim Blinkern backs up his dragster, the Blinkar Performance Mullis car. Got that old style Team Mopar paint job there on the car. Sherman Adcock Jr. alongside. New look this year for Sherman, as he is carrying the banner for Fire Aid this year. He has a World Championship Wally sitting on his shelf back home in Georgia. No throttle stop for Blinker, but here comes Adcock trying to outrun him at the finish line. Gets there second though. Blinker with an 881 at 160. Sherman Adcock 894 at 182 at the finish. Attention in the pits, we need Super Gas to the lanes, please. Super Gas, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Super Gas to the lanes. For your time trial session, Super Gas to the lanes. David Long, Robert Houston coming up next. Long out of Wallingford, PA. Left side, Houston. the Houston Transportation Dragster, North Carolina. Once again, Super Gas. Super Gas, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Super Gas to the lanes. Off the stops they go. Full power to the finish line. And it's at 899 at 173 for David Long. Robert Houston, 889, 182. Getting them dialed in for eliminations later on, as we have round one on the schedule for later on today. McKenna Brown comes up next. Granddaughter of Jeg Coughlin Sr., carrying the colors for Jags.com. Out of Boca Raton, Florida. James Summers alongside from Franklin, Kentucky. Both of them let go a little bit early. Summers a little bit more earlier than McKenna. 888.9 at 159 for James Summers. McKenna Brown, 9 flat, speed of 181 for the yellow and black. Derek Denny over here left side, Double D out of Pleasant View, Tennessee. Jim Harris alongside, backing up over here in the Budweiser lane. Harris from Batavia, Illinois. Taking the Southern Tour here before it warms up back in the home division. Once again, Super Gas. Super Gas to the lanes, please. Super Gas to the lanes. Hitting 2000 was perfect at the start. 885 at the finish at 184. Jim Harris, 889, speed of 177. For the Ring and Pinion Shop, left side, this time around, it is Leo Zinda, the Clinton Township, Michigan business owner up there. John Sickish pulls up alongside. Sickish from Belmont, Ohio. Get to see these guys run each other quite a lot throughout the North Central Division. Here they are enjoying a little sunshine down here. So trying to figure out where they're at before they go into eliminations round one later on today. Sickish better at the start. At the finish line, they're side by side, 896 at 182 for Leo Zinda. John Sickish with an 895 at 170 miles an hour. Otis Henry, the UPS driver. I wonder if he still wants to race the truck. Didn't they want to race the truck? Wasn't that the deal? UPS. Dave Dahlem alongside. Dale Jarrett wanted to race the truck. That's right. Dave Dahlem. He'll pull up here over on the right side. National event winner in Joliet last year. Along the sidewall there. For Dave, the brain said go, but the car said no. Otis Henry, 005 on the tree, 891 at 187. Dave Dahlem, 893 at 178. Maverick Palmatier now coming back. He campaigns a junior dragster all over the Southeast Division and also the Super Comp car. 17-year-old student out of DeLand, Florida, alongside Larry Burnshausen. Burnshausen from Manitou, Illinois for Auto Parts Plus. So when you see Dave Dahlem, you'll see Larry Bernshausen. You should see Don Higgins here in just a minute as well. All three of them running buddies. Volunteer 006 on the red side. That's okay. Got it out of his system. 893 at 177. Larry Bernshausen. 891 at 181. Crystal Weber backs up right now from the burnout. The Wildfire Next Generation car. Be Jim and Kathy's daughter over here. On the left side, Troy Williams Jr. alongside from Daytona Beach, Florida. Says he's in the entertainment business. Sporting the colors for FTI Performance. Troy, one of the big wigs there at the converter company. Both of them a little early on the start. Just a time run, that's okay. For Weber, 887 at 168. Troy Williams off pace 910 at 172 down there at the finish line. David Markle. Markle left side, Carla Pontillo from Kenosha, Wisconsin. So Carla comes down from Wisconsin. Let's go right by Jeff Spearling on the way down here. Where you at, Jeff? Pontillo with an 897 at 174. David Markle, 9 flat, 171 for the speed. Here's Davey Markle, not to be confused with David Markle. Father and son. Back to back. This is the boy, Davey Markle. Greg Camplain comes up on the right side for Mount Comfort RV and Lucas Oil. You'll see a car that looks almost exactly like this in Comp Eliminator later on today. Judy out there keeping track of Greg. Greg in the comp car yesterday come off the starting line and basically turned it sideways. Davey Markle 002 up front. And playing those slaps for that 013. And he goes 890 with a 9. Dead on with a 9 at 178 for Greg Camplain. Davey Markle 888 at 171. Super gas. Super gas to the lanes, please. Super gas to the lanes. Jim Morrison. Not that Jim Morrison. And William Roberts come up next. Morrison left side. The Lucas Oil lane. Trans World Bolts. William Roberts. Enjoying his retirement. Out cruising here in a Super Comp car out of Lincolnton, North Carolina. Early up here. And Roberts 888, 167 up on the scoreboard. For Jim Morrison 885 at 174. Rich Pika now. Sitting out there just parallel with the tree. Not sure if he's having trouble getting the car refired or what. But he is not moving at the moment. So our starting line crew will go out there and give him a little assist backwards. In the meantime, Bill Bear waits patiently behind the pre-stage beam over here on the right. Bear out of Braidwood, Illinois for T. Roy's House of Power. So our starting line crew getting their workout this morning, get to push the race car backwards. Starting to see a few super gas cars fall into the lanes here, and if you are not there, bring them on up. It is time for super gas, your final time hit of the day. Word from the starting line is Rich Pica's car not going to be able to make the pass. Be a single coming up here for Bill Bear. For Bill Bear, 866 at 164. Frank Altilio, 889.9 at 184. David Morris, 881 at 166. Hey, if you were a class runner-up yesterday, class runner-up, and you didn't get your contingency form, please stop by the scales. They'll get you your contingency form, as you would qualify for contingency as runner-up. Stop by the scales, pick up the form. They'll be happy to take care of you. We know the winners got their form with their Wally, but runner-ups may or may not have picked them up. Rusty Cook, perfect on the tree. Trip zip, 892 at the finish line at 179. Lauren McMaster, 883 at 153. John DiBartolomeo, Johnny D, left side. Editor, publisher, guru at Drag Racing Edge magazine for DRC Race Products. One of the few print publications still around. Joey Cambria alongside for the Airlift Company and NoSquat.com. Not sure what that is. PA runner, as is Johnny D. 8,900 dead on 00 for Joey Cambria, 174. He's got it dialed in. 892 at 180 for John DiBartolomeo. So Dad just made a pass. Here is the boy, Franklin DiBartolomeo from Huntersville, North Carolina. Another DRC Race Products sponsored entry, alongside Donald Pate from Effingham, South Carolina. Super Gas to the lanes. Class runner-ups. Stop by scales, pick up your contingency form. Bartolomeo, not perfect, but it's 001. 896 at the finish line for Franklin DiBartolomeo at 168. Donald Pate, 899, 179. Here's Bailey Mize. Bailey, troubles yesterday. Bailey, very competitive in the junior dragster ranks, still is. See her later on in the junior. Here in the big car out of Harriman, Tennessee. Scott Lamar alongside the NPD Canfield Industries dragster from Hawthorne, Florida. For Bailey, already looking better than it did yesterday. 890 with a 3 at 177 for Scott Lamar. Bailey Mize a little off pace there, 950 at 153 miles an hour. Greg Slack backing up left side. Albemarle, North Carolina, the home for the converter design specialist. Ford Power turbocharged entry. First pass out of the box for Greg Slack. Did not look very good. Plenty of transmission fluid out of the car on his first attempt. But he got it sorted out. He's getting it spun up right now. Rolled it deep, so he get a red light, but he should get some time or not. Went about 12 feet. Came to a stop. Don Higgins, 893 at 181. For Greg Slack, not having the best weekend here in the Super Comp car. It's a little bit different combination than anybody else. Twin turbocharged 308 cubic inch Ford powered injected machine. I would assume. Phil Mollicella, John Whiter coming up now. Mollicella, left side. Whitener from Winter Garden, Florida. Right, with an 878, 168. Philip Mollicella with an 888, speed of 186. Alan Evans, the high-tech race cars. Evans Plumbing entry from Clayton, Ohio. If y'all remember Krusty from back in the day, Jason O'Terry. He is involved in that high-tech race cars venture, building and selling chassis up there in the central part of the country. Jason Bader alongside for Marine Engineering, the Boynton Beach, Florida runner. Super Gas, 900 cars. We're looking for you to the staging lanes. $889 at 180 for Alan Evans. Jason Bader, $886 at 184. Helms comes up next. He of the perfect light yesterday. Richard Stroud alongside. Stroud making the tow down from Douglas, Ontario, Canada. Helms, the green car out of Georgia. For AFCO and Parr and Mickey Thompson. Great light, this time Helms, 001 up front, 8-9. How about a one pack? Come and get it. He was perfect on the tree yesterday. He's 001 today, 8-900 at the finish line for Tony Helms at 173. My prediction, first round runner-up for Tony Helms. Richard Stroud, 891 at 177. 1 thou from perfect here on his final time run of the day. Marie Ann Muller lines up left side alongside Kenneth Myers on the right. Muller, the young lady from Pinellas Park, Florida. Kenneth Myers, North Carolina runner for Hoosier Tires and Furr Motorsports. How about that? Helms. 001, dead zero. That's pretty good. Still a little window there, right? Yeah, good luck. The guy that had the 2-pack is thinking, man, my stuff's weak. Ooh. Muller, 886. Kenneth Moses, left side. Chad Taylor, right. For Ken Moses Race Transmission. Kenneth out of Colonia, New Jersey. Chad Taylor alongside from Lawrence, South Carolina. Carrying the banner for Mickey Thompson and Wiseco over on the right. Another 00 light on the books there. Moses 005 on the tree. 892 at 189. Taylor 887, 185. Just getting them dialed in for round one later on today. Daniel Bisbano and Kathy Weber. They'll line up now. Bisbano left. Division 1 runner out of Buchanan, New York. Sponsored by myself, Mr. Happy. Kathy Weber, the Wildfire, L&W Roof Systems. Miller Dragster over on the right. Kathy's claim to fame is she is the first woman to win a Super Comp race in the NHRA. Weber poured the coals to it down there. 890 with a 7 at 173. Weber, good looking pass there. Bisbano 891 at 171. Chuck Krepola comes up now. Top 10 runner in Division 1 last year. Ken Moses, one of his sponsors, along with APD and American Race Cars. Buddy Goolsby looks over to his left and see Chuck over there. Goolsby out of Gainesville. Knows this place very well. Multi-time track champion right here at Gainesville Raceway. Goolsby's 011. Leaves second. For the 002, Chuck Krepola. 898 for Krepola at 186. Goolsby 897 at 164. As I see the Larice team pulling in the water box, it means we must be getting down towards the end of Super Comp. Christina DiBartolomeo, left side. Daughter of John. Ray Miller the third. Right side. Son of Ray Miller the 2. Ray Miller the 3rd carrying the big number 1. NHRA Super Comp World Champion. Out of Spring City, Tennessee. Obviously builder of championship race cars. Hence the number 1 on the side of the car. Pneumonia earlier this year. Glad to see him healed up and back behind the wheel of the car. 888 at 185 for Ray Miller the 3rd. Christina DeBartolomeo, 896 at 182. Ross Larice comes up now. Baby Larice over here on the left from Raceland, Louisiana for Larice Motorsports Insurance. And a plug here, DragRacer.tv and the Larice family as Larice Motorsports Insurance, presenting sponsor for Drag Racer TV coverage in the South Central Division and also on the national level. If you're looking for coverage for your entire racing operation, both on and off the track, stop by and see Ross or Holden. Good stuff. Let's go 1,000 too early. Turns on the red light. It's okay. TJ Coleman all alongside. 892 at 188 for Ross Larice. TJ Coleman 879, speed of 160. Trene Crisoni backing up now. Out of the Larice Motorsports Insurance Stables out of Raceland, Louisiana. Trene getting set to stage up left side alongside Scott Mackey. For Babalu Racing, Dan Page built the chassis right side for the runner out of Fort Myers, Florida. Fort Myers, Florida. Easy for you to say. nobody told me the battery's dead on the microphone. Billy Walker 005 on the tree, but Matt Grayson, trip zip, perfect. 886 at 177. Billy Walker 911 at 168. It's Michelle Furr and Brandon Miller. Furr left side, the Papa Motorsports, Ohio Crankshaft, ATM Innovation entry. Angela Neely, if you're out there listening, good morning to you. Brandon Miller alongside from Canterbury, Connecticut. Just about completed here with Super Pump. Michelle Furr 007 red. 891 at the finish line at 179. Brandon Miller 9 flat at 178. Here's Kevin Brannon and Todd Ewing pulling up next. Brannon left, Ewing right. Alan Reinhardt, I got to tell you, that was probably my best session of calling cars, and I realized the microphone battery died about halfway. Thanks for telling me. Is that right? I'm supposed to be self-aware. Todd Ewing, 002 red. 888 at 185. Kevin Brannon, 892 at 190. Of course, I can say it was good because I was the only one that heard it. Lauren Freer, Alan Ackles coming up next. Freer left side. Miller chassis car. She's got a top dragster as well. See her a little later. Alan Ackles alongside. The AJA Racing entry. Off the stop. Car charged towards the finish line. It's going to be an 890 with a 5 at 183. Dead on 5 for Lauren Freer. Alan Ackles. 889 at 174. Dylan Howe. Junction City, Oregon. For Howe Racing. Cascade Trailer. Brian and Mindy out there checking things out. Dylan alongside Joe Tankersley, the Double Tank Racing GTO. The full-bodied entry over there on the right side. Pontiac power under the hood. Tankersley love those Pontiacs. Double 001 for perfect. Dead 00. Nope. 893, 181 for the speed. Tankersley almost a tenth under 883. At 158. So Super Comp down to just a couple of pairs here, and then we'll go to the 990 cars. If you're not in the lanes, Super Gas, we need you. Chris Rowe from Morriston, Florida, left side. The Chris Rowe Racing Ford powered entry. Blue oval power nestled down there behind the driver. Colby Fuller alongside. Savannah, Georgia, the home base.